What's up, everybody? We've got a full house already. 30 people in the chat. I'm here with Hexy Bastard, and people wonder why they don't take crypto seriously. No, I'm just kidding. He's our guy from the UK.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, no, he's over here holding down the fort, representing for UK. Have you kind of started the community over there? I know you're maybe an admin in the Telegram. Right?
No. I didn't start it at all. I just jumped in fairly early. It was Your Excellence and SE and a few of the other guys in there. They started it, and I just jumped in. And it was around that. Funnily enough, it was like as Richard Hart announced that he was going to be in London. It was just around the time that I was thinking, oh, maybe I should do a channel for this, because I just want to get the word out and see what I can do with it all, But we're all working towards a common goal and all that. And also I think I can give a fairly unique perspective because I only got in around May time, so I'm fairly new to. I got into crypto this year, like at the very beginning of the year, and then around May time is when I got into HEX, and I basically just went all in because I got wrecked on Bitcoin. So the good word.
Hey,
of
May is a
Hart
great time
through.
to get in. I think what were we at, like a penny, 2 pennies?
I paid 4.5 on the first
4.5.
rider. Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, it's true. If you, as long as you've held HEX for over 6 months historically, you've never been down at a loss. So
nope. I'm still,
you can handle it.
Even at current prices, it's over a 3x, but I've got all the interest and everything as well. And I'm just, none of my stakes even come out until like next July. So I really don't care. And I'm on the strong opinion right now that this has been just such a glorious shakeout. It's so glorious.
It's
seeing all these people leave and new people coming in. That's exactly what we want, man. That's exactly
what I'd love to happen is just for the, basically for the snapshot to slide under the radar at the very bottom, get all the non-believers out of here, so they all get fucked over, and really only the true hexicans get the benefit of the copied pulse or copied hex on PulseChain. That's what I'd like to happen, but I'm not sure if I'm buying into the conspiracy theory. What do you think about Richard Hart's birth time and 1118 and all that?
Yeah, we all had a good little go at that in the UK chat. Yeah, we were really going at it, but maybe, but I had a quick flick through the GitLab thing. There's a lot of things going on there, and David, I don't know if it's Feeder or Feder. Like Feeder, yeah. I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't ask him. Yeah, when I was talking to him, he was saying, it's probably going to be a little bit longer than people think. So, and he was saying, I'm not doxing that. He said that on stream, so it's fine. But yeah, anyways, he's obviously in there with the node, trying to set a node up and all of these things. So yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit longer, which just sucks right now because the ETH fees are terrible. But if you got stakes coming out, it's costing you a lot to end them. So I'm very like anti-Ethereum because I've only ever really had bad experiences with Ethereum since I joined it. So
it's terrible, man. I think I just paid $1,000 to end one of my Bitcoin free claim stakes, and it was worth barely over that. So I was almost, debating, do I even want to do this? Because it'll
be worth more later.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have HEX, right, than Ethereum. So I sacrificed some Ethereum for HEX and just hoping that goes up. But even to restake for a newcomer at this point, everybody's priced out. So it's garbage. Lemono Ortega said he's never heard of that snapshot theory. Oh, man, this has been a theory since Richard posted his birth time.
Yeah, the birth. Who posted birth time?
Richard
birthday, but yeah, that's what I mean. Like he put that, and it was, what was it, 11/18, so 18th of 11. You could maybe put it down as, but it's not to say that there isn't something cryptic in there. It might not be like PulseChain launching, but it could be something there, And there's been a few dates. I'll throw one out there. I can't remember the exact maths behind it. I'll remember and I'll post it on Twitter like later on or something. But it was the amount of minutes from the time that he posted. There was like a number in all of that, and the number got repeated somewhere. Someone pointed it out in the chat, and basically that number of minutes from the time that he posted, either from the time he posted or from the time that HEX actually launched, pointed to New Year at the end of this year as well. So like almost bang on 0000 on the time. But yeah, I'm just a wild idea.
People are taking whatever they can get in terms of hopium now. People are like, it's like they need it, but Then you got this guy Brent Morrissey over here. I don't know if you've heard of Brent Morrissey.
Oh yeah, he's
London
been
native.
fueling the fire. He has.
Yeah, yeah.
A
If
lot.
you knew what I knew.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's kind of where it started from, really, right? Like, well, he sort of spanned the flame at the beginning, and then from there, a lot of people started thinking.
Yeah, he's been cryptic. His tweet, I think, was something along the lines of, "If you knew what I knew, you'd be like way bullish on HEX, or you'd be buying right now," or something like that. And people that might not remember from the very early days, we don't know much about Brent, right? But we know that he's involved in HEX marketing somehow. He was at one point on the HEX.com website as the CMO for HEX, but that got removed quickly after some thought about, well, HEX isn't a company. How could you have a CMO? You know, Richard Hart's not the CEO. He's just the founder. So the whole team was kind of scraped off the website because really we are all the team, right? It's a decentralized network. But I know Brent is friends of Richard and seems to know what he's doing. I have a hunch that he's kind of behind the London advertising. He's a marketing guy from what I know on just a quick Twitter stalk. And I think he might have had something to do with the soccer game and maybe even some of the ads on the tube or whatever. But who knows, guys? Who knows? Everybody wants that sweet hopium. And really the most realistic guess I can make is based off of what you just said, which is the GitLab. You know, you got to get in the GitLab and see what's actually being done. And it's pretty bullish to me that the issues list on GitLab, if you know how to read GitLab, just click around in there. There's almost no outstanding issues minus like a spelling mistake, you know, and just a couple months ago, there were, you know, tons of issues. So, you know, work is being done, progress is being made. What have you talked to David about?
I hope it was. I hope it's soon. But not a lot really. So after the Cabana stream the other day, we just got drunk for a while and we were talking just about HEX. Really, I haven't got any insider knowledge for you or anything like that. I'm afraid. I'm sure he would tell. Yeah, there was nothing. I should have grilled him a bit more, really, when I had him there. We were both pretty smashed by the end of it. So probably could have got something out of him. But no, I didn't take advantage of it, I'm afraid. But yeah, top guy, though. All of them are top guys. To be honest, everyone who I've met within this space in general has been sound as fuck. The only people who are sad right now are the ones who bought in very recently at like 40 odd cent. Seen some like angry comments in all the chats and stuff, but mine kind of dipped the same amount. When I bought a 4.5, it did wick down to like maybe 3 or 2 and a bit or something like that. So that was a little bit scary, but it seems worse when it's going from like 40 to 20, you know, it seems worse.
Yeah, but it's the same thing on a different fractal timescale. And it's always going to seem like the end of the world relative to where we are now. But I mean, just look at the chart Richard posted or go to uniswap.hex.vision and just look at the chart, zoom out, go to the V1 chart, get the full history, and then go for yourself and do a map of every single HEX dip. All 7, maybe 8 of them now. We're on our 8th one. Actually, we might be on our 9th dip. And I'm talking about dips over 50%. These are big dips, right? These aren't easy to deal with psychologically, but historically, if you bought any of these dips, you are in massive profit right now. This is actually the best time to buy is when the fear is the greatest, right? And to give you a little bit of, I'm not a huge technical analysis guy. I'm kind of with Hexologist, and I think it's kind of like astrology for men. But, you know, but there are some things you can actually look at, real data, you know, and that's where's the liquidity pooled up on Uniswap V3. Because now we've got this one-sided liquidity, and I've just taken a look at info.uniswap.org. You can go see where the levels of liquidity are at in terms of price. And there's not a whole lot of liquidity from the 17-cent range all the way down to the 6-cent range. So
it's been like that for a while now. It really has. Yeah.
So that 17 cents has always been a kind of a support. And if we dip below that, I think it's a quick crash down to 6 cents. And now why is this a good thing, right? Because nobody else has their orders at this level. So if you are one of the very few people to put an order at 17 cents or even at 6 cents, you can catch a wick down if it happens. And you'll be one of the few people. So while all these people are complaining about the low prices, you know, you can flip that on its head and look at it as an opportunity. Because really, I mean, you want to buy when everybody else is greedy or fearful, rather. So it's tough to deal with
fear almost now. I mean, if it did wick down to that 6.5 cent level, then that is going to be absolute fear it is, oh mate, people are going to be very upset about that. But that is the time when people should be buying. Definitely. I mean, even now it feels that way now, but I can tell you, just looking at it now, we're actually in that range now where the liquidity is basically gone, because we're at just over 16 cents at the moment, which is, that liquidity stops at 16.5. So there's like nothing now. So what I've been recommending to people is just put a few limit orders in there, somewhere in that range. You know, don't get too greedy trying to put loads at 7, because that's what everyone's going to do if they look at that. So maybe, you know, scale them, but you might be able to get a really, really good price if you just set some limit orders up now, because there's basically nothing there until there's a little wick at like 8.5 cents. There's a bit of support there, so maybe it slows down on that bit and reverses. I don't know, but it's you know, I'm not bearish at all on the overall price, but this is just a huge shakeout, and this is the final frontier, basically.
It's long-term thinking, guys. I mean, we are at prices that we haven't seen in 3 months. You know, zoom out 3 months. Can you handle that? Like, can you think longer than 3 months, for the love of God? Like, you know, not a lot of people can. And if you want your pump of the week, your pump and dump, your Shiba Inu, then this HEX is not the coin for you. HEX is a coin designed to last years and months, not days and weeks, right? So if you're not thinking at least on a 6-month or 1 year time frame of your holding period, and you should really be thinking about your staking ladder, right? I think your nearest stake should be at least a year away. You know, if I had to do it over again, that's exactly what I would do. And actually, I think that is what I did. I don't think I made any stakes for less than a year, even when I started. I was like, all right, let's launch some into the future and just see what happens, and just ride this wave and try to promote it along the way. So, but yeah, limit orders. I like metric.exchange. Do you have like a go-to platform?
I'll be honest with you, I've never actually performed a limit order on DeFi before, but I've heard that Matcha is quite good. I think you can do it on 1 inch as well, right?
Matcha's not bad. 1 inch is not bad. The limitation with Matcha is that it can only last for 7 days. So metric, and also the issue with 1 inch is that sometimes they don't get executed properly. So metric is kind of the best of both worlds, where you can choose any number of days for your limit order to last, or indefinitely. And from my experience, again, I've only really done 2, maybe 3 limit orders, but on metric, but they've all gotten filled, whereas I've had issues with 1 inch. So
one thing I will say about Matcha is, if you're doing a market order, it can be quite good, because I remember the first time that I got into HEX, they have a thing where if the price goes in your favor during the execution of the order, you get like a little bit more. And I ended up getting like a couple of 100 extra HEX just for free, basically, because the price went in my favor whilst it was going through. And I don't think 1 inch does that. So I don't know if they still do it, but they certainly did 5-6 months ago, whenever it was, when I was doing it. So yeah.
Is it cold over there, man? Got a warm hat on.
Just don't want to dox myself, you know. No, to be fair, I did a hatless stream last time, because I want people to actually be able to recognize me, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm going to meet everyone down there very soon.
Yeah. So you are going to the 731 gathering?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited. Like, it's going to be absolutely fucking brilliant, and everyone I'm talking to who's going down is super excited. Am I right that you're going as well?
Yeah, I'll see you there, dude.
Yeah. Nice, man. Nice.
I got the VIP experience, whatever that means. I really don't have any idea what I'm in for, but I take it we might film some maybe some documentary footage, and just get to meet everybody. Really, that's fun enough. And if I get to meet the documentary guys, even better.
Yeah. One Grant jumped in Cabana the other night, and it was cool talking to him. He's a really like good guy by the sounds of things, and he's very passionate about the whole project. You can see, and I think he's getting converted as well. Like, he's going to be a proper Hexagon after this. I think he already is anyway. Probably.
Well, he's getting paid in HEX too, and I'm hoping he doesn't sell it, right? But it seems like I've actually talked to the guy. I forgot their names. What'd you say their names were again?
Grant was the guy who came in as. I have no idea about the second guy, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think it's Grant and Patrick, and I believe I met them in Washington, D.C. I don't know if that was them or somebody else, but they seemed like they definitely they had every intention of spinning HEX in a positive light and not being shady or being like, oh, well, it's controversial or anything. It seems like it's going to end up showing the stupidity of the haters and, smashing the controversy and really just driving the narrative, which is what we're all trying to do here, with our YouTube channels and everything. We're creating the narrative. We're the people speaking up and talking about it. The haters don't really have the attention span or the energy. I mean, it's hard to hate something so much that you make it your life's mission to, make sure it doesn't succeed, right? We've seen haters come and go, but we've seen a lot of the OG Hexicans and people that get in along the way, such as yourself. You could almost say you're an OG at this point, right? Especially like a year from now. And
maybe
we don't give up.
Pre-documentary Hexicans. That's what I would also, before even the documentary came to light, I would say anyone before $1 is going to be super early. I mean, people don't understand, man. They don't understand how big, because imagine how big this will go. One of my main reasons I think we've had this dip is because smaller people are getting pushed out by the gas fees a lot. So there's not as much mass holding the price up. It's more of a whales game at the moment on Ethereum. So
you're absolutely right. I mean, imagine you're trying to talk to your buddy. Hey, you should invest in HEX. It changed my life. It can change your life. Okay, can I put in $200? Yeah, sure, but it's going to cost you $50 to swap and $50 to stake. And by the time you get there, you're going to be left with, less than 100. They're going to say, fuck that. Why would I even bother? So PulseChain is going to unlock the world, and it's going to probably be the dominant platform that we all end up using. I think sellers are going to sell. You're totally right. It's a whales game right now. And I think maybe the PulseChain launch kind of overhyped everybody a little bit. Not like we ever had a snapshot date to begin with, but I mean, if you knew some of the things that all of us Hexicans know, I don't understand how you could be bearish on HEX if you're thinking about 3 months, 4 months from now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even if the ETH one stagnates, you'll get, and if the ETH one kind of goes up a little and then PHEX, or what is going to be HEX, right? That reaches parity with it, and you're getting a free 2x on the coins anyway. Man, it's just going to be so good. It's just so good. Like being able to actually do some kind of a staking ladder that's not like just one a year or something, because it's going to cost you $20 just to stake, So it's like, and then every buy at the moment lately, I've been seeing it's around, like, if you want to just do like a V2 market buy, it's like $80 to $100 odd to do a swap.
Brutal.
Yeah, I've been trying to get people in who want to invest like, I don't know, $300 to $500, something like that, and they're just not going to do it because they're almost 50% down straight away after they've paid all their fees and done their staking ladder that they want to do their little one or whatever. It's just not really worth it for them,
Absolutely. There's a good chance that a lot of people try to bridge their EHEX over to PulseChain and try to sell their EHEX for more PHEX, which would obviously make EHEX go down and PHEX go up. But really, I think it just depends on the conditions of Ethereum. If people want to go where they're treated better, and Ethereum hasn't fixed their fee bullshit by the time PulseChain launches, I think more and more every day that we're going to see the price of PHEX skyrocket and a slow bleed out in the Ethereum HEX price.
Well, the thing for me that's so bullish about PulseChain is that obviously Hexicans, we know how bad Ethereum is, but we're in our own little echo chamber. But there's hundreds and hundreds of other projects on Ethereum that are so likely to be suffering as well. Like no one can swap on DeFi at the moment. It's like almost impossible unless you're just an ETH whale or you got loads of ETH knocking about just to pay for all the stuff. So it's not just us that's affected, and that's why it's so bullish for Pulse, that everything's coming over and all of these people are going to have the option just to, all right, see you later. We're just going to go here now. And, maybe all that stuff will still have value, but I can see a lot of projects just upping and leaving and going straight over there and staying there.
I mean, you get all of the attention from the world's largest airdrop narrative too. That's one of the most genius marketing strategies I've ever seen, because it doesn't need any money to fund it. It's people hear about, they have a copy of their coins on another chain. The first thing they're going to do is go check, see how much they're worth. And along the way, if they want to do anything on that chain, they've got to make sure they buy Pulse. And along the way, they're probably going to hear about HEX too, if they haven't already, because what's the main token on PulseChain? It's obviously going to be HEX. I mean, as much as we try to say PulseChain is agnostic, it is. Anybody can build on it. And I know some really cool fucking projects. The liquid loans thing is really exciting. There's a couple of things that people I've talked to specifically, and I know they're building really, really revolutionary stuff on the PulseChain. But let's be honest, it was invented to save the Hexicans. I mean, it was invented to free the people from What it really is the unstaking fees, right? I mean, even if Ethereum does get back down to maybe $1 a transaction, it's still going to cost an arm and a leg to unstake, especially if once those 15-year stakes come out, because the gas fee has to iterate over every single day that's been in your stake. So those 15-year stakes are going to cost a lot, almost no matter what, unless Ethereum can somehow really get down to where PulseChain is going to be.
Yep, and I mean, I haven't looked into it too much about what their actual plan is, but that EIP 1559 was supposed to help, right? And it made everything really bad.
I don't think it was ever actually supposed to help. I mean, it was supposed to help something like it was supposed to appease the miners, I believe. But I don't really think it was ever advertised as a gas saving solution, and people just didn't read into that. They just heard, oh, Ethereum's getting an update. So I think a lot of people made an incorrect assumption that.
Yeah, maybe I just read the headlines a little and didn't do my research properly, to be honest.
Well, that's all right.
That's just the narrative that got pumped out. It's like the same narrative as Bitcoin's anonymous. That's what every new person who comes into the space thinks. And that's what I thought for a long time. And and it was only when I really looked into the whole thing that I, before I even bought, way before I bought, it was a few years ago that I realized. But for years I thought it was totally anonymous and it was cash, but it's just not. It's just not at all.
I mean, you would think that the developers of Ethereum and Vitalik and everybody would be more focused on the user experience and onboarding people than it seems that they actually are. And they're maybe taking a longer term stretched out viewpoint of everything. But this just seemed like a political move, EIP 1559, to appease the miners, even though it's going to proof of stake anyway. And so the miners are eventually going to be phased out. I just don't know what they can possibly.
So it's they're taking a step backwards to take another step. They're going the wrong way with that direction at the moment. Yeah. It just feels like it wasn't scalable enough to reach the level that it's at now. Clearly, because of the fees that people are paying, but. It just seems ridiculous that so many people are paying all these fees. I'm sure a lot of it comes from just a few projects or whatever. But
it's unnecessary bloat from. I know Uniswap always uses gas, and that's a necessary evil, right? Like people have to be able to swap one coin for another. I know NFTs have really, really bloated up the chain as well, but the ideal solution is something that PulseChain is in line with which is the multi-chain future approach. Right, you should have a multi-chain future. It's okay to use different chains. And it's really, really easy. I mean, I've talked to some of the people that are close to development on PulseChain, and you won't even have to manually enter the PulseChain network credentials. When you go to the new go.hex.com, it's just going to flip-flop the network for you. It's going to say, hey, would you like to switch to Pulse Network? And you just tap a button that says yes. And you could be the dumbest idiot on the street, and you still figure it out. And this multi-chain future is going to involve a lot of bridging back and forth. So I know there's kind of a bridging protocol that everybody uses. I know, to go from BSC to Ethereum, or to go from Ethereum to AVAX, or whatever you want to do, a lot of them use a similar bridging protocol that I think PulseChain will use too. And we're just going to have bridges back and forth all over the place. And you go with whatever dApp you want to go with on whatever blockchain it's most popular on. And all these different layer 1 solutions end up taking the load off of Ethereum rather than there being layer 2 solutions. I think what I've seen from layer 2, from testing it out and everything, is that the technology is there. It does work, but the user experience is not even close to, try to explain to somebody about layer 1, and then, they have a hard time with that. And then you got to tell them about, then there's a ZK sync thing, and then you can pair your wallet to this, but you have to make a separate wallet. And it's just pretty crap when it comes to UX.
That sounds out of my league, to be honest.
I've done some earlier videos on it. HEX used to brag that they had the capability to do 2,000 transactions per second on a layer 2 solution called ZK Sync. And technically it does, but nobody's using it because UX is fucking terrible. What do we got in the chat here?
Fair enough. Shout out Archie B.
Archie B, is that another UK guy?
He's one of mine.
Nice. One of your cult members? Nice.
Yeah. And then Renob, it's Renob KCID. Sorry, I can never say it, but it's actually Dick Boner in reverse. I don't know if he's ever
I
been
did
in your
not know
chat
that.
before. It's really funny.
I'll never see him as the same. But so how
Yeah,
big is
Dick
the cult
Boner.
now in the UK? You got Dick
I think that
Boner.
we had 666 members recently, but I think we've got a few more than that now. We had
All right.
we had a crazy influx when I basically posted on Twitter, oh, Richard Hart has been very cryptic lately. I think Hex UK might have figured it out. And I put a link in there, and loads of people from all over the fucking world just started joining. And I had to just delete the link because just too many people were joining. Because everyone wanted to know. They thought there was like really a secret, but all it was, we were just like, oh, but if you add this many minutes to blow up, it was nothing. It was
I
nothing
remember
really.
that. Actually, I joined for
In fact,
that
you
reason
joined,
too.
yeah.
So for the people that don't know, here's what happened.
Loads of
It
the
was,
OG guys joined. Like I think Motley joined. God, loads of you. I can't even remember exactly, but yeah, loads of people. But then we had loads of randomers joining as well, and everyone was like, "What is the news? What is the news?" So someone said to me, "Just go in the voice chat and just tell the people the thing." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And then a couple minutes, I was like, "Just give me a minute." And then I went to the voice chat. There's 42 people in there. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck? Because like I do these open hangouts where it's streaming on YouTube and stuff, and anyone can just come join the call. It's meant for UK guys, but we've had all sorts. We've had like Cryptomatic in there and you know, a few others. But anyway, we do these like open hangouts. We maybe have about 8 to 10 people in the call. So then when I seen it, I was like, 42 people. What the fuck? I ain't even got anything to tell you, really. We hadn't figured anything out, so I just basically let everyone down.
Yeah, I mean, here's what it was. It was this guy, I think, I don't know his name, P.etc. or something, and I had never watched his channel. Apparently, he had a YouTube channel, and he took it down, but he took it down with a cryptic message of, I am ultimately confident that with what I know, Hex is proven to go to the moon and beyond any reasonable doubt. And I was like, okay, this guy sounds like he knows something. Like, what does he know? And he posted some weird some image, right, that somebody then did a reverse Google image search on, and the reverse search came up with a bunch of Polkadot related news.
Yeah, that was one thing. I mean, that, to be honest, that happens quite a lot because it happened with another image as well. So I don't think it was just like specifically for that, but it did come up with that. So at the time we were like, whoa, what's happening here, you know? So we thought we were being detectives and figuring it all out, but really we're just spreading a bit of like false news, to be honest. So like I kind of pulled the plug on it a little, and I'm secretly figuring stuff out with people, but I'm just not doing it in the public group anymore.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of cool shit going on. I don't think Polkadot has anything to do with Hex right now, so just let me just squash that one while we can. But
fair enough.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I could be wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong, and maybe some people are working on some kind of parachain connection. I don't even know.
Someone posted a screenshot of a DApp on Polkadot that had the PulseChain logo on it. It had like a connect to PulseChain wallet on there, but I couldn't say the website. It's somewhere deep within the one of the chats. I think it was the Hex UK chat. Someone posted that. If anyone can remember that and can find it, if you tag me in it, then I will send it to you after. But yeah, it's interesting because obviously bridging, we're going to need a bridge from Ethereum. That's kind of what they do. But yeah, exactly. This guy's right. Yeah. He's right. That's what I eventually came to the conclusion of, is like, maybe it's something to do with that, but like nothing confirmed yet. But it's definitely not for like Hex or anything specifically.
And I'm not a Polkadot expert. The only thing I know maybe is that Polkadot has something to do with connecting blockchains together. So
yeah, I think that's basically all it does. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I say that like it's nothing. It does obviously a lot there, but I think that's its like primary focus, because we did have a little quick look into it. But yeah, I don't want to show anything else really. So whatever, it's nothing to do with it until someone says it's something to do with it. So.
Sure. I mean, hey, that'd be cool, man. If we could bridge, if that's some kind of a bridging protocol, maybe that would work. But there's real stuff happening right now that I know people are working on. I know I've talked to people working on a Hex version of Grayscale. I've physically talked to
right. Okay, talk about that if you can.
Well, like, that's pretty much all I can say, unfortunately. But you know,
so you're asking me for knowledge. I don't know anything. Really.
Well, I mean, this is as close to inside info as you get, but we can't give you launch dates because I don't know the launch dates, and I'm not going to lie to you guys and say, hey, it's going to be released on this date. I just know that people are working on the an ETF that is backed by HEX, and people are working on a USD on ramp that will allow people to convert USD to HEX directly. And in fact, I even think there might be more than
bullish.
one. Yeah, I think there might be two and maybe even more people working on the HEX to fiat off ramp type of thing. But we have no expectations in HEX, right? So we can't just tell you, hey, these people are working on it and they promise they're going to be done here. There's always delays in software. There's always delays on roadmaps, and you just got to let it be ready when it's ready. Same with PulseChain. Just know that people want this to work and people are taking action. And if you're not happy with the speed of the action, you do something yourself, or you go get involved with some of these groups. I mean, you can dig in, ask around, and see if you want to get involved in any of these projects. I mean, I know I don't have anything to do with liquid loans, right? But I'm interested in it. So I wanted to give them a platform to talk about their project because I think it is a cool thing.
I'm going to have a chat with him as well at some point because I want him to explain it in a way that like I might understand. So he's going to have to like really, get it down to my level. But that's fine though, because he's going to, there is going to be an audience out there that needs to see that, so yeah. But yeah, I like the idea of it. It's not so much relevant to me right now because I'm not someone who's sitting on like tons of gains and I can maybe put 5% here and then take 1% of that. I'm not really in that situation. But if in a couple of years I, did want to take money out and I didn't actually want to give up the HEX or the Pulse or whatever to do it, then that seems like a mighty fine option. And that is what rich people do. Rich people keep their assets and they take loans out on it. And that's how they don't pay taxes as much and they save more money.
Damn right, man. So, if we're going to be the richest people in crypto, let's start acting like it. I mean, people wonder, who's dumping. It's all the OGs, blah, blah, blah. It's really not, guys. The people that have the most money also have the longest time preference. They're the people that don't need to sell that much. I mean, I'm not saying OGs have never sold, but and yeah, maybe there have been some big sellers. Me personally, I would never want to dump the price, much more than like 1% if I ever did sell. But I know there's some guy that sold like 5 million HEX and maybe like dump the price 10% or something in one day. I have no idea who's doing the selling, but I'm pretty sure it's the majority of smaller people. Like it's the plebs that bought up at the top.
I think it's the people who are scared. I think a lot of the people selling now are people that have bought in higher than that. I don't even. Yeah. I mean, I haven't done any analysis.
Think about the conditions under which you sell. Like you sell if you're scared and you want out, right? Or a lot of people sell if they're in fear because they're down on their investment. The people, the OGs or whoever you want to point the finger at, they're up massively. They don't need to sell, and they don't want to sell at a dip. They want to buy more at a dip. They want to do the exact opposite of what you're finger pointing to do. Although Wake Dog did say something. He said Conrad Zen sold 50 million HEX according to himself. I did read that. That's not necessarily, that doesn't mean necessarily today.
I think he sold that ages ago.
A year ago, I read up 50 million HEX wouldn't have been much, right? And it's all been absorbed by the market by now. I don't know Conrad Zen's address, and I don't really do the whole stalking people thing.
I really feel quite passionately about this, even though I'm new to the whole streaming thing and whatever, because I'll tell you guys straight up, right? If next year my first 1 year stake comes out and that is life-changing money, I am dumping the fuck out of it. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to dump it because I'll need to, that's what you got to do, because I still got another 14 stake. I'll probably restake like 30% or something like that. I don't know. But like, I'm dumping it because that's what, because then I know I'm happy and I've never not lost any money. I've definitely got my money out of it and I'm just in a good place, and anyone who's hating on these guys for actually selling it, it's just like, what?
It's silly.
I can't comprehend it. I can't comprehend it.
It's just people want a scapegoat. And first of all, thank you, Lucky Box, for the HODL HEX biatch and the $5. That's right, man. But I've always done the strategy that I teach other people to do, which is I have a ladder, and when my stakes come out, I'll sell the interest, and sometimes I won't even sometimes I won't sell all the interest. I'll just sell some of the interest, and then I'll restake the principal or maybe even more, because I want to keep my number of T shares. I want to actually increase my number of T shares, because at the beginning I was too short term, right? My ladder was a little bit front loaded, and now I want to backload it.
A lot of you guys have been saying this recently. A lot of you like OG people. I think Matty Allen said it on his stream earlier that like that's you guys didn't. Yeah, you didn't understand the value of them at the beginning, right? And now it's like, damn, they're actually Sick.
And you can believe us or not, but I mean, that's your prerogative. I mean, if you want to be, paranoid and point fingers or whatever, just know that, people that are comfortable that don't need to sell are at least incentivized to do so. It's the people that are a lot of times scared, that don't understand markets, that bought the top, that want to sell to get out of the pain, right? Anyway, that's all I'll say about that topic. It's not about who's selling, who's buying. It's about what are you doing to increase adoption and onboard new people.
I just don't think I don't like it when people hate on people just for selling. It seems silly. People can sell however they want. If they want to market dump and take loads of slippage, then fine.
Yeah, and you will take loads of slippage. You will. I mean, if you try to sell like 1 million HEX right now, I think I don't know how much that'll slip you, but maybe at least 10%, I would guess.
But that's just, if you need it like right this second. If you can't do a limit order and you just can't wait a little bit,
right?
Just a little bit. So.
Right. Most people can live off of. Most people can have a comfortable life after not that much money, per month or per week. All this big money that's sitting around is just sitting around to maybe be reallocated into things like liquid loans and stuff like that. Who knows, man? Everybody's got their own strategy, so let's not hate on people that do that.
No.
Yeah, this guy sells and makes $1 million a year later. I don't know what that guy's talking about. In 2033, should have added that. Oh, 15-year stake. Yeah. Sandy B says, I need to start a liquid bag. This is a pretty interesting point because I do have a liquid bag, and that's going to be used for PulseChain when it launches. I want to be a liquidity provider, and I want to have some free HEX to be an LP, because we've heard talks and whispers of a secondary LP reward token to incentivize people to put up LP. Have you heard anything about that?
I've heard nothing. Please tell me.
Well, you've got platforms like PancakeSwap that have Cake token. You've got platforms like QuickSwap that have Quick token. And these tokens are basically just incentive tokens for people that they basically run these programs where, if you put up X amount of liquidity and you lock up that liquidity on our version of Uniswap for 6 months or a year, however long, maybe there's even no time limit. But if you lock up any liquidity, you'll gradually earn these Quick tokens or these Cake tokens or whatever platform's token that we're going to invent. And the purpose of these tokens, I've seen them used for governance. I've seen them really kind of have no purpose at all, but people just trade them because it exists. And it's just a way for people to get rewarded and kind of jumpstart and ignite participation in a new ecosystem. Yeah. And Richard Hart's talked about that because it actually works. Whether or not the token has any value, I mean, people want something for nothing, right? So if it's as easy as putting up liquidity on PulseChain's version of Uniswap to get a free token, I think a lot of people are going to do that. But I also want to put up liquidity just to obviously receive the fees that are associated with that, and also to maybe help stabilize prices as well. We shall see.
Yeah. I mean, if you know what you're doing, go for it.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people have a lot of strategies with this kind of thing. I mean, I'm personally just going to sit the whole thing out and just watch and just enjoy the show, because it's going to be fireworks. Those charts are going to be all over the place.
Oh yeah, I'll have my popcorn. The more I try to jump the gun and think irrationally and rush into decisions financially, the more I get wrecked. And luckily, HEX has allowed me to take a deep breath and really think about my next move. But that goes right into this guy's question, the HEX Pulse dude. What are you going to do when PulseChain launches? You're going to try to scoop up these cheap chain links or these cheap BNBs or whatever?
I mean, maybe, but
probably not.
I don't know. Probably not. I mean, because the thing is what are you going to pay for them with? I mean, if you put in new dollars in, then yeah, maybe you want to have a little gamble with stuff like that. But I mean, if you think of coins that actually are terribly affected by the bad gas at the moment, and they're likely to migrate over, then, because one thing I know is, I mean, I know people who are into all these other coins, and no one knows about PulseChain yet, really. No, I mean, how many people are in that chat now? Like 60,000 people, something like that.
Is it 60K?
Oh, like 80K. I'm not sure. I'm not like
50K. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So I'm not hating on the amount of people in there or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that there must be so many more than that in Ethereum, right? There's millions and millions of people in Ethereum, surely. So when it's kind of good in a way that these guys don't fully know about it yet, because they'll get told about it later when one of their friends says that, why are you still using Ethereum? It's ridiculously expensive, you know. So it'll be an easy migration over for a lot of these guys, especially when they know they've already got their coins there. The only thing that's sad about it is that what's going to happen with the coins that are on exchanges and stuff like that. So like if you're holding, I don't know, SHIB, but it's on Coinbase, are you going to get the P SHIB or whatever?
No, probably not. And also those exchanges can continue to dump on your head too, because really it's their wallets. So a lot of these exchanges are going to provide a lot of potential sell pressure to PulseChain. I think the only way I might consider buying an altcoin on PulseChain that's pre-existing from Ethereum is if I saw some existing whale that comes over from Ethereum, and then let's say they dump, let's say a Chainlink whale that owns 5% of Chainlink just decides to dump the fuck out of Chainlink. Maybe if it went down like 99%, maybe I would pick some up. But I'd have to really see a low-hanging fruit there. You know, it'd have to be really sexy to me to do that. And I don't want to sit at my computer all day. You know, I don't want to just sit there and fucking
watch. Like I'm not really. I tried trading earlier on at the beginning of the year, and it just takes over your life. I mean, it is fun, don't get me wrong. Like you have a good time doing it sometimes, but it's very stressful, and it just never, obviously with Bitcoin and all of that, this market just never ends. So you have to keep one eye on it all the time. And that's why I liked about HEX is it just stops you from, well, it's a good incentive not to do it, because you can just tie up your money in that and then almost guarantee yourself good gains. So
yeah, I'd rather invest in things that I'm confident in, that I know a lot about. Again, a 99% dip on any of these coins might be okay, but how would I know? I mean, I'm not the type of person that's got.
But a 99% dip from where, mate? Because they're not going to have the value. True. They might already be like way under a penny at the beginning, and you might actually be able to. Because am I right in saying that the liquidity pools are all getting copied over, like system state almost? So it's just literally going to be like if people have money in, I don't know, let's say Link USDT or I don't even remember if that's an ERC20 token Link. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Say SHIB and USDC, yeah, these two are on a liquidity pool, gets copied over to PulseChain. What's going to happen with that liquidity? Where's it going to go?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not a very attractive strategy for me to try to game this system. If somebody can figure it out, you know, good for them, but I'm not going to probably waste too much of my life on it, personally.
I feel like this PulseChain sacrifice that you've waited so long for, if you're not careful, you could just lose all of it to some dog shit that's worth nothing. Yeah, just by messing around in the wrong place, you know. Because whatever you do, like you say, if you see something that's at like literally 1% of the price that it should be in your head that you think it should be worth, then go for it. But it's still going to be a gamble. It's like having
because you don't know if people are going to come over and adopt that coin either, you know. But chances are my prediction for PulseChain adoption is that it's going to be primarily new projects. I think a lot of people that have invested time and money and effort and just burn the midnight oil for so long on their Ethereum project, it's going to be really hard for them to just switch sides over to PulseChain unless their DApp really is pricing people out due to fees, you know. And I think a lot of people are just going to fork existing projects that are working on Ethereum, and they're going to fork them into a new version on PulseChain, which is what we've seen with things like liquid loans, for example. So I don't see a lot of adoption coming to like P Chainlink, for example. You might just end up having a fork of Chainlink on PulseChain.
Yeah, which could be either worth a lot or worth nothing. I think PulseChain is going to be the most attractive to people like NFTs and things that are gas guzzlers in general anyway, because it's going to be, you know, you're going to get a free copy of all of that, obviously, on the thing. I mean, to those guys, it's going to be amazing, but there are other places already. I think, I mean, to my knowledge, there's at least like 6 places you can get NFTs. And I think a lot of exchanges start doing them now as well. Like, I know FTX does them now and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not like a unique sales proposition, but the fact that all the stuff is coming over already and they're already going to have this big bag of stuff if they've got it on Ethereum is quite attractive. And then when they try and send that around or sell it or whatever, they'll see how quick it was and how cheap it was, and they'll be like, damn, I'm just going to stay here.
Oh yeah. The I'm sure the NFT OpenSea forks or whatever they're going to do are going to have a lot of traction. I'm looking at the gas tracker right now on Ethereum, and OpenSea, which is an NFT trading platform, is 6.4% of all gas used. Tether is 6.5%. Uniswap is 16%. So those are the top 3 gas guzzlers right now. I see a lot of just, 1 inch is up there. MetaMask is up there. Uniswap V3, V2, USD coin, and Shiba Inu is number 10. So that's really what's taking all the gas right now. Allegedly, according to Etherscan.
I'm surprised OpenSea's not higher, honestly. But then again, Uniswap, there's a lot of people doing things on there all day, every day. And there's R-bots. I mean, I don't even know how R-bots can function right now, but okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never used one. So.
I mean, neither. But every time they do anything, it's going to cost them fucking $100.
Yeah, true that. Here's a question. I've heard this one a lot. ETH 2.0. What if ETH 2.0 comes along one day and there's no need for PulseChain anymore? I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. I don't think it's as black and white as that. If ETH 2.0 does come along, what do you think is going to happen?
Do you think ETH 2.0 is even going to be better than PulseChain?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's going to be a gradual rollout, right? Because they have like a phased approach. I just don't know if it really will be better. Like, will it also get block time down to 3 seconds? Or will it also get the gas cost down to less than a penny? Or will it just be a partial improvement? Or will it just be a gradual improvement? I think both can coexist, right? I think ETH 2.0 could coexist. And who knows, maybe that even revives the original HEX a little bit. And my HEX is going to be staked anyway. I'm not doing any emergency unstakes. So if ETH 2.0 does fix its shit, and then we do see some migration back to Ethereum, then great. Maybe the price of HEX goes back up, and maybe PHEX continues to thrive, because that's what we're all hoping for.
Are you more bullish on a PulseHEX than you are on Ethereum HEX? Then? Yeah, me too. Especially on the T shares as well. Like them T shares are going to they're going to ramp up very quickly. So people will be doing more weekly stakes and stuff. Regular people can do it.
Oh my god, it'll be way too easy to do that. I mean, I got to be honest. Of course I'm more bullish on PHEX right now. If I was confident that ETH 2.0 would launch anytime soon, then maybe my opinion would be different. But I don't really have that confidence.
Yeah. I mean, when I don't even know when that's supposed to be launching, but I don't think it's anytime soon.
Yeah, true that.
I can quickly Google it, actually. I'm curious. ETH 2.0 launch.
So what do we have for... hold on 1 second.
Yeah, the EIP 51559 was the first phase of the rollout of the whole thing.
Okay.
It's gonna be a while for that one. PulseChain is gonna be out way before it. Way before it. Hopefully.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a launch before the end of the year, but even if it is a couple months after, I wouldn't be surprised. I know how software works. So yeah, we've talked about win bottom. If the bottom is kind of right now, I believe, and if not, then I think we could wick down and catch some wicks anywhere from 6 cents to 17 cents. The London event gonna be badass. I'll see you there. PulseChain launch, nobody knows. I don't know, neither do you, but check out the GitLab, right? Check out the GitLab for the most accurate data, and try to talk to some technical people. If you can get a hold of a developer, that'll give you more insight than me or Hexy Bastard can give you over here. And how to psychologically deal with a dip. That was our thing.
Yeah. That leads me on to this. So when I don't actually know, when did you get into Hex? Are you from the very beginning, or did you get in a little bit later?
Yeah. Day 2, actually. I waited on day 1 because Richard warned everyone not to get in on day 1. And I actually listened, but I should have listened a little bit longer. I think the ideal day to get in was like day 33 or something. So
Illuminati. No, that's cool. So before Hex, what was you in? Was you in any cryptos and stuff before?
Yeah, I was a Bitcoin maxi, unfortunately. So I'm kind of like a recovering alcoholic in a way. And
so I thought Bitcoin.
Yeah, I rode the whole 2017 bubble all the way up and all the way back down. I've been in as early as 2015. So I went through trading. I went through trying to make trading bots. I went through trying to get in on these private groups and trade shit coins. So everything that you guys in the chat might have tried in the past or might be trying right now, I've been through all of it, guys. I've lost a lot of money. At one point, I had lost more money than I'd ever made in my life from working, and that really shook me a little bit. Yeah, that shook me up a little bit, and I reverted. I went to go hide in the Bitcoin Maxis little camp over there, and I sought refuge with people like Tone Bays and everything. And then I met some of these guys in real life, and I kind of realized that they were a little. I don't want to be too slanderous, but they're not my cup of tea. They're not really the guys I wanted to be hanging out with. And then Richard came along and really gave us something that was legitimately, I think, better designed than Bitcoin as a store of value. And so I got a little bit more bullish on Ethereum and Bitcoin, or Ethereum and HEX rather. And these days it's pretty hard to pull me away from Ethereum, HEX, PulseChain. Occasionally I'll be interested in a different project, but I don't really invest in much else besides HEX and I guess some Ethereum for gas, and then PulseChain obviously. So how about you?
So yeah, like for me it was just literally I heard about Bitcoin, God knows how long ago. It must have been like 2012 or something like that when I heard about it, but I never thought of it as something that you make money on. It was just buy drugs off the internet and shit like that, that's the only reason I knew people were buying it, was to buy illegal shit. So,
that's right.
But anyway,
I'd be lying if I said I didn't hear about it that way too. So
I heard that it got to 30K and I was like, shit. I remember that was like well cheap. So anyways,
that's weed, huh?
Yeah. A friend of mine reckons he's got a wallet somewhere which has got like 89 Bitcoin on it that from like all the way back when, but he can't find it anywhere. So hope he finds it one day. But anyways, yeah. So I seen the price was at 30K and I was like, oh shit. I got a little bit of FOMO and I was just set up a little Coinbase, started putting in a bit of money each month. That was at like maybe the end of last year, actually, not like the beginning of this year. But I didn't even research it. I just started buying Bitcoin. I didn't even buy anything else. And then after a little bit, like I'm one of them kind of people, when I get interested in something, I'll just really dive into it. And I literally won't take my head up out of that little chamber for weeks. I'll just be there. And I was following all these like trading guys because I was like trying to trade my way into it and stuff. And in fairness to myself, when I was trading spot or like really, really low leverage, I used to do quite well with it. Like, but the amount of money I'd put in was never going to make me like loads of money if I'm only doing these, smaller leverage positions or spot or whatever. So anyways, eventually I started margin trading, but I didn't really put like a lot in my account. I would only put like I don't know, $10 in each time or something like that. But you do get wrecked like it fucking immediately on futures sometimes. Like you will literally put a buy order in, it will just wick down immediately after you press that buy button and you're out of the game.
Oh, it's awful.
Doesn't trigger your stop, goes straight past it, liquidation, boom. And this happened to me too many times. And around that time is when I found Richard. So the rest is history. I was a little doubtful of HEX when I first, came across it, but I just looked into it and it's really, I don't understand why people thought it was a scam. I mean, maybe it was the initial marketing approach or what?
Yeah,
but like, there's
that was partially it. I think it was Richard's foul language and then the 90% ownership or whatever.
I miss the foul language, man.
Oh, those were the best days.
I miss that. I miss all of his old streams where he would just like absolutely
he would go off on the
savage
haters,
people. He ended that Alex Saunders one is, I mean, I'm at a toss between that and Peter McCormick, because the thing is, he didn't even savage Peter McCormick that bad. Peter McCormick made himself look bad.
He fucked himself over.
Yeah. He made himself look bad. Richard just had to sit there and be like, okay. Yeah. But the Alex Saunders thing was rough.
Yeah. I mean, really, I just figured at the end of the day, it's like, why not invest and put your money where your mouth is in something you believe in, especially if you don't have a lot of money to start off with. Go really heavy in early on something that really is superior technology, in my opinion. And then why don't I just go and try to promote the living shit out of it? Because I really do think it is a good idea. Why wouldn't I try to share that with the whole entire world? And I think that's what a lot of people are doing here. But this guy Hexologist in the chat,
what
shilling Blippi coin, and I might have to go check that. No, I'm just kidding. Do not listen to this guy. Hexologist. I have no idea who that guy is. Never heard of him in my life. So yeah, Flippy Coin. You heard it here first.
That little clip from the RG3 stream,
Yeah.
where Connect brought him in. Oh my god, I must have watched it 100 times, and it's still laugh. I still laugh every time I see it. It's his laugh after that makes it funny. It's not just what he does. It's like when because he realizes he's been dragged on. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love Exo, man. He's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. Good
You
stuff.
remember the one with who was that? Not Gerardo, Geronimo, or fucking Giacomo that was trying to like. He was basically trying to troll Richard in that one video and saying he's got like Mark Zuckerberg coin or something like that. And it was just like a really, really shit joke that just was not funny at all. And he just made himself look like a nerd, dude. Just like he looked like a loser. And then that's when Peter McCormick, he passed the stream key over to Peter McCormick, and he came on uninvited to continue to call Richard a scammer. Yeah. So that was the intro, I think, to the Peter McCormick one.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he didn't make himself look that good either. But yeah, no one's really beat him in a debate that I've seen. No one's even gave him like a good crack, really.
No. I mean, because eventually they have to agree with him because he's just right. And then it just ends up not being a debate. It just ends up being a conversation. It's just like, all right, I agree with you, bro. Okay, bro, I agree with you too. And it's like, all right, it's just like two people aggressively agreeing with each other. And like, okay.
I think Richard, he has this thing about him where, you know, and he says it himself, actually, when people don't really know him and they first see him from a distance, they're like, they're unsure of him. And that's how I was when I first seen him. I was a little bit like, you know, all the watches and all the bling and all this stuff, because that doesn't mean shit to me. I don't care about any of that. But he was talking about stuff that I found very interesting. And, you know, I just had to give him a proper listen for like maybe 2 streams, something like that. And then I was hooked because he was the only one as well at the time. So like I said, I got in right off when Bitcoin crashed 50%. And he was the only one who was telling the truth about it. True, yeah, you either agree with Richard. Yeah, true. Yeah, so he was the only one who was telling the truth about, look, man, this could go further. Usually it goes even further than this. And everyone else was like, no, straight to the moon. And obviously in the end, like, I guess he was wrong apart from the scam wick on Binance, but at least he's not a dick about it, right? He's like, I was wrong.
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, he's been right about a lot of things that were really unpopular opinions at the time. I mean, when he did call the top of the bull market at about 17K in 2017, $17,000 Bitcoin, nobody wanted to believe him. Nobody wanted to hear that, but he was really just trying to warn people, saying, hey, this thing is overbought. It just dumped pretty hard. It tried to recover, but couldn't get past an all-time high. I think we're in for a multi-year bear market. And it made sense. You know, shit like that makes sense. Or when he tells you, you know, you're better off just buying the coin early or just buying the coin in general than you are with mining the coin. Take it from me. I was a miner myself. Some people don't want to hear that. They think mining is the right way to go. So, you know, I mean, that's not super controversial, but, you know, people could disagree just because they feel like they're making more money mining, but it's just the honest truth that's hard to hear sometimes. And then he's got all this life advice too, which is pretty funny and could be a little, you know, on the fence sometimes, but you know, it's just he's a really fun guy to listen to. Not cult behavior at all. Yeah, we're not all following a guy with a book, our savior, our Lord and Savior, Richard Hart. It is funny though. I mean, we have a sacrifice and people call us a cult, and yeah, I could see why.
Yeah, but being a cult is kind of a good thing, you know. Like, people are passionate about this shit. Like, I don't care if I'm in a cult. I'm fine with it.
No, I'm totally fine. Hey, if it's a cult that makes people try to have better financial decisions and make better choices and have a longer time preference and eat healthier and live longer, you know, what's so bad about that? We're not, you know, branding our fucking bodies over here. Like,
to be fair, at least we have got a good like core message behind us, and you know, I don't think anyone's ever had an army of millionaires before either. So that'll be interesting in a few years.
See what happens. We'll
see where he wants to take it. You know.
Yeah, got all this money, can't know where to spend it.
Literally take over the world, man. If you want,
it's crazy, man. Yeah. I mean, it's a cult that's trying to spread financial freedom to the world and subvert the entire global financial system. So yeah, if you want to join, feel free. We're also not forcing anyone to join, right? If you want to watch people get rich without you, yeah, go ahead. But we've got some pretty cool stuff over here.
Yeah, Mark. you guys think we're getting into a bear market now. I mean, we have been, I guess, for like 6 weeks, but doesn't mean it's a bear market. If you just just click log scale, zoom out.
Yeah,
it's really not that bad, honestly. And
calling something
we're only touching the last resistance, the last little accumulation zone now, really.
Yep.
We're only just touching it, so this is normal.
Yeah, when you want to call things a bull or bear market, I think it's important to take in, all right, well, what time frame, right? And I typically don't look on things any lower than 1 day. If you want to call a bear market on like the 4-hour chart, sure, but that's not how I personally like to think about investing. Again, I'm an investor, not a trader. So from a investing perspective on a multi-year time frame, this is not by any means a bear market. We've made a lower high, basically. I mean, yeah, if we make a lower low below like 17 and try to recover and then fail, yeah, maybe that's a bear market. But we need to see how the bounce recovers and if it can make new all-time highs after that or not. And we'll need to wait a couple of months to really see that play out. So I think it's way too early to call a bear market. But also just keep in mind that we're going to need several months to see if we do make a low, then can we still make a higher high? And if not, then maybe.
The thing is, on the weekly as well, it just looks like a really long bull flag.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just rolled over a little bit this time, rather than usually it has like a peak and then it will do a nice, angled bull flag. But this didn't really have like the big peak. It just sort of like got to a point and rolled over. So that's the only different thing about it, because usually the beginning of all of these, but then again, I'm looking at maybe it looks a bit different on like the daily or something, but just on the weekly, it's just one of them things there, man. But I'm not worried at all. I'm really not worried. I think it's a good time to buy.
Yeah, higher highs, baby, all day, every day. You heard it here first. Hey, we're at an hour, man. Do you have any topics you want to cover? Do you want to show your channel? Everybody go subscribe and like Hexy Bastard on Twitter. Classy name there.
At Hexy Bastard. The name comes from the fact that Richard wanted to stop swearing. I thought maybe there's a gap in the market for someone who's just got bad language and shit like that.
Good. You are filling the gap. Thank you for your service.
And the UK gap as well. There's not too many of us yet, so
that's important. Yeah,
trying to spread that word. But no, literally just Hexy Bastard on Twitter. I have a conspiracy Telegram channel as well called Hexspiracy.
Nice.
I don't have to spell it. Hex instead of con. Hexspiracy. T.me/Hexspiracy. Go and join your kind in there if Strape's a little bit too big for you, because it's a bit smaller in there. There's about 100 people in that one. So
right.
yeah. Other than that, that's it really.
Yeah.
What about you? You want to show anything to my guys?
No.
Oh yeah. If there is any, I will say that. Sorry. Quickly, if there is any UK guys or you want to join the UK channel, it's t.me/Hex_UK. You can find other British guys like me who want to talk about Hex. Go ahead, mate.
Yeah. If you're a British guy yourself, even better. I'm sure they don't want the Americans just taking over. So
no, we don't mind too much, really. Especially if you come into the event, come say hi. It's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys, all fucking 200 of you. Really awesome to have you guys. I love being a part of this community. I'm meeting cool new people all the time. Look at this guy. He's got a guitar and an anonymous hat in the background. Crazy people in this community. All right.
There's some weird things going on, man. Yeah, peace.